I'm streaming, baby. Welcome to the broadcast for the SFR GT Challenge. This is Division 1, Round 8 at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Drivers are... sorry. I am your host, Manayaku31, QRacer31. Hi, Big Red. And drivers are still finishing qualifying. There are about 3 minutes left to this session. Just give me a second. So Josh is not able to be here tonight, and I will be doing the broadcast. And Cooper, are you ready to do the interview? You're still qualifying? Okay, so we'll wait for the interview. Okay. So you can... Okay. I will keep an eye on the qualifying results. So far we have Gumball on the provisional pole, followed by Cooper, I believe, yes. Trying to find all the times. Erky, Rodrigo, Marsan 14, Bill, Neantisto, Defsan is not here tonight. Rodrigo is a substitute driver for Turismo Racing, Lexus. We have also a new driver in Division 1, STR Bekwa. There was a spot open by Turismo Sosa as he withdrew from the series, and so STR decided to fill another driver, STR Bekwa, which is kind of good because I often have to stream, so that will allow STR to have 2 cars in the championship. I will just give the word to everyone that they can finish and park. So at 8:02, times will be official. I will just share a few links and we'll be back with commentary. There's you see the live timing right now. Do you hear me, Cooper? Yes, you're ready? So you qualified in second place. I think everyone has completed their lap. So I will just write it down quickly. So congratulations on your front roll start. It's been, I believe that will be your fourth race in the league. You're now replacing AMS Brooksy, who started the season in Supra. How do you you've been in a top 16 superstars race in the FIA for, I believe you signed with Toyota, so you've been racing this car quite a lot. First of all, I just want to confirm: are you in the FT1 or the Supra in the in FIA? Okay. So that's your go-to car. That's the one you've been mastering for the past few months. Well, you've seen you had a great race on Monza for the first race in SFR. You finished, I believe, in second place on the podium on your first outing for AMS and the Supra. And so far this season, you've had amazing races. Even when you sub for Marsan in the AMG, your pace was excellent. You finished on I believe you were in third, but downgraded to fourth after the review. So you've been having a great season. How do you see this race? There's been an update. The physics have changed. Some cars have more understeer. Some have more rear tire wear. How do you feel going into this race? Yes. Well, that's great. I will have to end the interview here. It seems like your mic wasn't shared, so I will basically tell everyone in the stream what you just said. These are technical issues that happen. So have a great race, and thanks for being with us. Yes, as I will tell you everything Cooper just said. Don't worry, guys. So yeah, you can exit the party, and I might have to reinvite you if you finish on the podium. So maybe we'll talk after the race. Make sure your audio is shared then. Great. Have a great race. Thanks. Okay, well, we had some technical issues. Now I have to set the grid, but someone is not entered. Enter, please. And then we'll give the start as quickly as possible. Okay, everyone is entered. I can set the grid. So, now you get to see the behind the scene work. Gumball, Cooper, Urki, Rodrigo. Where is Rodrigo? There. Marsan, 14, finally entered. Bill, Neantisto, who said he would start in 8th, he starts in 7th, so he improved on his expectations, beat his expectations. Dougie and Bequois and Exotica and Arrowhead, so we're all good to go. Let me double check the event settings. Nope, event settings. 26 dollars, 1x. Okay, no penalties. And the damage. Okay, so starting soon. Unfortunately, JMag will not be able to race tonight. I just got the message. Actually, he's on his way, so I'll put a 808. Okay. He should be here in a matter of seconds, but obviously it will take some time to log in. The lobby won't be too long though. Someone is typing something, so we'll see. Oh, there it is. Good. So this will allow Thrustmaster Racing to stay in the fight for the championship, because if JMag wouldn't be, may have issues if my dog may have issues if I leave. Okay, yes, we'll be able to have JMag in the race, so we'll have a virtually full lobby. Hold the race. Yes. Not too long. Oh, did he disappear? Oh no, he's still there. I'll just have to make sure with the grid and everything. He's gonna be in the AMG, so he's gonna have a crazy start. And he's gonna be last, so can you enter? I'm not sure he's in there yet. Okay, starting soon now, so worst case, I think we have 14. Great. Okay, so let's start the race. I need my keyboard. I haven't been able to go through the full grid to see who's using what. I cannot start the race from spectating mode, sorry. Start and spectate. So here we go. Exotica and Bill having some fun. Ouch. Hopefully it won't happen in the race. So we're about to go. 14 drivers. I won't be racing. There would have been 15 otherwise. I believe everything's fine. Yeah, JMag is in last. Yes. Okay, good. The grid is fine. So Gumball, Cooper, Urki, Rodrigo, Marsan, Bill, Niantisto, and Catch. Hello, Hugo. Good. And it's a start. The Supra is struggling off the grid. I believe everyone is underway. There will be no grid issues. This means that now the two Mercedes-Benz are in first and second. That's something we've seen a lot this season. Rodrigo is challenging Cooper for third. There's been no incident so far. Urki has been the biggest loser so far from the front of the grid. Some side-by-side action. Everyone is off the grid safely. JMag has already gained 3 spots. Gumball is leading ahead of AMS Marsan 14. They're the two guys who need the most points tonight if they want to challenge Def Sun for the championship. It's gonna be hard, but they can still do it. They'll need a lot of luck, but by finishing first or second, they're gonna put all the luck on their side. Rodrigo, Cooper, Bill, now AMS jumped Urki. The two drivers are ahead of Urki, but Rodrigo overtook Cooper for third. Catch is in 7th place in his special edition Aston Martin, Green Machine. And oh, there's been an issue. I believe J-Mag is lagging. I believe there's a major network issue. Can I find him? I believe he got disconnected. Is he still in? Is he still in? Wait. I'm trying to find him. Well, he's driving in the grass, so yeah, he got disconnected. Well, that already changes the situation for the championship, as Marsan is challenging Gumball there for first place and completes the pass on the American driver. So we have a driver from Puerto Rico in first place, AMS Marsan 14. Both were fighting for Mercedes-Benz in the previous season of FIA, and Rodrigo barely avoids Marsan there. That was quite risky there. I was expecting to see a AMG fly off in the distance, but Gumball is back in front of Marsan. Rodrigo is right behind them. Cooper and Urki is back again in 5th place. Catch in 6th, Bill in 7th. We've missed what happened with Bill, and it's a bit too late to get the replay. Doogie is up in 8th, Gnarly in 9th, Exotica in 10th. Arrowhead, who just jumped in at the last second, no practice, no qualifying time, is in 11th. Neantisto dropped to 12th, and his brother is in 13th for STR in the Supra. We've had a lot of changes in position, some things that we weren't able to catch on with the TV cameras. I believe the J-Mag lagging all over the place must have caused an incident. He was probably randomly placed on the track, and it might have caused Neantisto or Bill to maybe go wide or spin. That's something we've not been able to see. And Marsan is still right behind Gumball. Let me spy on them and look at their tires. Marsan trying the over-under, but that, I believe he just slightly misjudged his entry, and now Rodrigo's right behind him. So everyone at the front is on softs. Let me go through the full grid. I believe everyone is on soft actually. Well, there's Exotica on mediums, Neantisto on mediums, that might explain why he dropped to 12th, and Becqua on medium. So the last 3 drivers are on mediums. The rest of the field is on softs. And with the new physics update, that's going to be interesting. The closest battle right now is between AMS Marsan 14 and Turismo Rodrigo, who's subbing for Turismo Def Sun. You might have seen him before in the Dodge Viper when he was a season's regular driver, but now as he had to withdraw, I believe ahead of the previous round, he's now back as a substitute driver. So that allowed Gumball to create a 1.4 seconds gap over lead over Marsan 14, who's getting challenged by Rodrigo. Let's get back to it. Trying to find the onboard camera. Rodrigo, who had 0 practice ahead of this race, had not played, he was unable to play for the last 3 weeks, I believe. So he might need a few laps to really get into it, but he's already very fast. The Lexus is a strong car on this track, so is the Mercedes AMG. We'll go back to the cameras. Gumball has a 1.6 second lead over these two. There's a battle between Urki and Cooper for 4th place. Urki with a new livery, new colors, Urki Gaming livery. Urki, who started in, I believe, in 3rd place, right ahead of Rodrigo. Rodrigo, who's still following Marsan. And Catch is now alone in 6th place. Bill losing ground behind. Doogie and Gnarly, bumper to bumper. Doogie is mentioned right before the race that with the new update, the physics update, the Viper is now really hard to drive. You've seen his slide there. He managed to catch it quickly enough not to spin. But it's a new learning. It's a learning experience right now. They've had only a few days to get used to the new physics. And Gnarly in the Aston trying the outside, might go inside there. Nice side-by-side action by the two drivers. One from AMS, Apex Motorsports, and Rockefeller Racing from Gnarly. Will Gnarly try to take it on the outside or force him to overshoot the corner? No. He's gonna try inside of the last corner. Will he make it stick? Seems like he has. Yes, he's got ahead of Doogie as we have a battle for 4th place between Urki and Cooper. Urki on the inside. Cooper gets back in front. And Cooper manages to get back right in front of Urki. There was no space on the inside to try to get back in front there. Hello, AMS Autista XR. Good to see you in the chat. Seems to be a 3-way battle behind for 11, 12. Oh, and Marsan is in the gravel. Will this give an opportunity to Rodrigo? That's not a good place to overtake unless you're very aggressive. Oh, I don't know if they touched. It seemed like Rodrigo slightly touched Marsan's car. These two drivers really fighting for that position. I believe Rodrigo is feeling like he's losing time behind the AMS driver. He's right there, no margin for error. They need to make sure they don't end up piling up at the chicane. In the meantime, Gumball is still way ahead of everyone, 2.8 seconds. So if Rodrigo really wants to catch the American driver, Gumball, he'll need to overtake Marsan as quickly as possible. Cooper and Urki are still very close. Nice battles on the track. Catch is still in a world of his own, and Gnarly has managed to gain some time over Doogie, as Arrowhead is now in 10th place. No practice, but he's on the softs. So he has more grip than the drivers behind the Antisto, Bekwa, and Exotica. Exotica seemed to have lost 3 spots there. Was ahead of Arrowhead in 10th. That's something we've missed. We'll try to follow everything at the same time. So the fastest lap so far, Gumball 154.041. That's great. So he's been pushing hard, trying to build a gap over everyone. And Cooper is still ahead of Urki. Urki seems to have... Oh, and Cooper goes on the gravel. That's gonna give a shot to Urki at the chicane. Will he be able to make it stick? And Urki back inside. He has the inside of the last corner, and Cooper yields. He'll try to have a good run out of the final corner. And still no change for second place, so the battle is raging on for fourth place. Urki has the optimal line, but Cooper could try to get back there on the inside in the stadium. And we have a Magic Man in the chat saying good luck Rockefellers. So far they're in 6th and 8th place, so they're having a good race. They still are behind STR in the points. That might allow them to get back in front of STR, but Catch is under pressure from Bill. Only 3/10 is separating them. That might be when tire wear starts to kick in, especially in the Aston Martin, as it has a lot of understeer. But from what I've heard, the Corvette is also struggling with tires now with the new update. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Rodrigo lost some time behind Marsan. Lost some ground behind Marsan 14. So we still have the same. We still have the same top three: Gumball, Marsan, and Rodrigo. We might start seeing pit stops around lap 8, maybe lap 7 if someone wants to stretch a stint on the mediums, but the mediums are much slower, so that might not be an optimal strategy. We'll go back to the battle for 6th. Catch is still keeping Bill behind him. Catch being quite aggressive on the curbs, using as much as he can. But so far it's been quite clean. Let's try to see if we can have a look at their tires. If we compare Catch and Bill, seems like Catch has worse tire wear than Bill right now, as I believe Gnarly was defending from Doogie. So Gnarly might already, yes, he seems to be struggling with front tire wear. So is Doogie, but the situation with Gnarly is much worse than it is for Doogie. We'll have to keep an eye on them. I'm quite sure Gnarly will end up diving in the... I believe there was a spin there. Let me catch who that is, and it's Bill. Should have the replay for this. Let me check. I need to remember what key I have to press. I believe that one. Was there a contact there between Bill and Catch, or was it an unforced error? I went way too wide there, lost it, got in the dirt, and bang, in the wall. And reverse to avoid getting back on the track in front of everyone. So that's a good move. And now we should start seeing pit stops. So Bill is now down in 10th, behind Arrowhead. And the battle for second place is still ongoing. Marsan went a little too wide. Will he try to get in the pits? Is there anyone getting in the pits right now? No. So he just lost it exiting the chicane. And that allowed Rodrigo to get by him, but now he has to close the gap 3.8 seconds on the Mercedes-Benz, driven by Gumball. And he has to make sure Marsan doesn't get back ahead of him. That was quite close. And we have the first driver in the pits, Gnarly, as I predicted. Tire wear seemed to be quite seem to be critical. Bill is also in the pits. Is anyone else gonna enter? Bekwa is gonna already get off his mediums. So he's gonna try to do, well, he'll have 18 laps, so he could do 2 9-lap stints on the softs. He's been able to do it in practice without losing too much time compared to the racing mediums. So there's a chance that this strategy might pay off at the end of the race. And Urki was really held behind Cooper because now he has 2.3 seconds over the AMS driver in the Supra. There's a lot of action behind. I believe that some drivers rejoined the track right behind on battles that were already going on. Gnarly is right behind Arrowhead and Niantisto. Niantisto on the mediums in 10th place behind Arrowhead on the softs. The softs are probably shut right now, so Niantisto is faster than Arrowhead right now, even if he's on the slower tire. Gumball is staying on the track, so he seems to be managing his tire wear with incredible ease. Rodrigo staying on the track. I believe the Lexus usually has worse tire wear than the Mercedes, but it seems like the Lexus actually has fresher tires than both Gumball and Marsan 14. That shows you the skill this Peruvian driver has. He hasn't been using the Lexus for a long time and he's already acing it. So catch in the pits in the green and pink machine. Where is he gonna exit? He's on the mediums. Make sure you stay within the lines, catch. He's gonna exit right in front of Exotica, who's still on the track on the mediums. I believe that still hasn't pitted. So catch is one pit stop ahead of Exotica. And we still have a battle between Rodrigo and Marsan 14 for second place. Hasn't changed for quite some time. Urki will probably be able to benefit from this this ongoing battle, but it might close the gap on the driver from Puerto Rico. That's something we'll have to watch for. Marsan really not giving an inch to Rodrigo. He's putting the pressure on him. The young 14-year-old Peruvian driver. Who's gonna pit? I believe Marsan. Yeah, Marsan is in the pits. Oh, and saved it. That could have been a pit entry violation. Gumball is also in the pits. Rodrigo staying on the track for another lap. He's gonna run 11 laps on the softs. Will he try to do a one-stop strategy? That would be quite interesting. And Cooper is doing the same thing. They're both staying on the track, and Gumball is exiting right now. He's gonna exit in 3rd place. No penalty there. That's great. Same thing for AMS Marsan in 4th, Urki in 5th. Doogie is still on the track. On the mediums, I believe, yes. Catch in 7th on the mediums. Niantisto still on the track. Gnarly, let me check his tire strategy. He's on the medium, so he's going to do soft mediums, soft. Bekwa on track. Still on the mediums. Keep hitting the wrong thing. Bill, another crash. Let me see if I can see it. Let's try to find a replay of what happened there. I believe we're a little too late. Nope, too late. We've missed it. We still had damage. So we'll go back to the front of the field. keep hitting the wrong thing. Where is my... There. Ha ha ha. Rodrigo still leading. Hasn't pitted yet. 7.1 over Cooper. And if you add everything, it should be about 10.3 over Gumball. Rodrigo entering the pits. Making sure he doesn't ride the wall and get a 1 second penalty. Great. So the Peruvian driver is in the pits. Cooper is also in the pits in the Supra. So now the Gumball will reclaim the lead. What's interesting is, what will be interesting to watch is where is Rodrigo gonna exit the pits. He's gonna be behind Masan 14, so he lost time in the pits by lost time on the track by staying out for 1 extra lap. But he's now on the mediums, and if he wants to, he could run a 15 lap stint and get to the finish without having to pit again. Will he try it? We'll see. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on for the remainder of this race. He's now 3.7 seconds behind Marcin 14, so he must have had a really bad lap on his 11th lap on the softs. Urki is in 4th. Cooper lost a lot of ground also, lost about 2.2 seconds over Urki. Catch is still in 6th, and now Niantisto. How come? Okay, good. Niantisto still on the mediums. No, actually, he switched. I went in the pits. Well, we've missed it. I really thought he was still on the mediums. He started on. So now he's on the softs. And he's right behind Catch. Catch who's on the mediums, yes. So that should be an easy overtake for Niantisto. Catch is sliding there, so we'll keep an eye on these two. Niantisto, who always tells me, I'm gonna be last, I'm gonna start last, and I'm gonna finish last. But he's always there in the fight for a good points finish, and he had 2 podiums, one in the preseason race on the Autodrome Lago Maggiore, and the other one on Red Bull Ring after the review by the stewards, as Cooper got actually 2 pit entry violations, which put him behind the Niantisto and promoted the Quebec driver from 4th to 3rd place on the podium. I believe there's a battle here, but I see things change on the leaderboard. As Bill is now right behind Bikwa, and that was quite aggressive on the inside. Could have easily lost the car. It's going very wide. He's pushing hard. He wants to recover from his previous mistake. But still, Catch is holding on to 6th ahead of Niantisto. As we see in the background, Urki catching Rodrigo. Urki is on the softs as Rodrigo is on the mediums. No, Urki is on the mediums. That was fake news, I apologize. So let's get back to the battle. They're so close right now, but that's the worst spot to overtake on the track. Could try it there, but that's very risky. The best strategy will be to stay right behind Catch and try to overtake him at the chicane. Trying to keep an eye on the battle for 10th place between Bill and Bikwa at the same time. We'll go back to this one as soon as we see how this one unfolds. Catch defending, keeping the inside. It's gonna compromise his exit, but Niantisto was sliding there. Didn't have a good exit of out of the chicane. Niantisto going really wide. keep an eye on them, but there's a battle there. Bill inside, Bikwa. Bill, who usually laps over a second faster than Bikwa in qualifying, lapped over a second faster than Bikwa in qualifying, but he's been making a lot of mistakes this season in the race. So Bill going wide. Let me check what. Whoa. Okay, so Bikwa is on the softs, and so is Bill. Now I have to this menu there. So Bikwa is on the same compound, so he could challenge Bill for the position. Try to see if we can see the overtake there. Niantisto is now ahead of Catch, but we've missed it. Let's try to see if I can get a shorter replay. Nope, that won't work. So we missed it. And Rodrigo is still holding on to third place ahead of Urki. They're both on the mediums, as the two drivers in front are still on the soft, so they're gonna do soft, and medium. So 3 stints, 2-stop strategies. Seems like the Mercedes-Benz still have their advantage in terms of tire wear, but we saw the Lexus was quite good during the first stint. Despite Rodrigo being in dirty air for most of his first stint, other than the last 2 laps. So we have Rodrigo and Urki, and then Cooper, who's alone on track, ahead of his AMS teammate, but Niantisto is unaffiliated in the league. In 6th place. Catch in 7th place for Rockefeller Racing in the green and pink machine, number 47. Gnarly, the other Aston Martin for Rockefeller Racing, in 8th. Doogie in the Viper for AMS in 9th, ahead of his teammate Bill in the Corvette. Bikwa, the new driver for STR, in 11th place in the Supra. We have behind Arrowhead, the new driver for Rockefeller Racing, in the number 12 Corvette. In 12th, and Exotica, who's about 10 seconds behind Arrowhead in last position. In the flashy pink Jaguar F-Type Group 3 race car. Urki trying to get inside. Don't hit the pit entry wall. So it's a battle between Japanese and German manufacturers. Lexus versus BMW. BMW at its home track, the Nürburgring. You'll see BMW banners everywhere on this track. Their home race. Honda got a podium at their home track. Suzuka in Division 2 with Fams A. Mueller, or Fams A. Mueller R. BMW will try to do the same thing with Urki, get a podium on their home track. That could be a 1, 2, 3 for German cars in Germany. We'll see if that can happen. It all depends on what's gonna happen between Rodrigo and Urki. Urki lost a little ground. It was a little closer to Rodrigo on the previous lap. Let's have a look at tire situation. Seems like the rears on Urki are slightly more, but he's done one more lap on them than Rodrigo, so that's not a real issue there. That's completely normal based on the number of laps they've been on these tires. It's F11. Since I don't do broadcasting that often, I have to relearn the keyboard every time. I'm getting there. So Gumball with the fastest lap, still in the lead, 6.9 seconds over AMS Marson 14. That's exactly what Gumball needs to do. For those who are on Discord, you might have seen all the scenarios that I've posted, the championship scenarios. If Gumball wins the last 3 races, and as long as Defsun doesn't score more than 1 second place finish, or doesn't get another win, he could still be champion. Same thing for Marsan 14. Finishing in 2nd place will still allow him to be in contention for the title. So they'll be praying for their internet connection to hold on until the end of the race. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case with Gumball's teammate at Thrustmaster Racing, J-Mag, who has been disconnected. I'll start again. Who got disconnected on lap 3, I believe. So he won't be scoring any points. That will give a great chance to AMS to clinch the team championship for Division 1. We'll have to see after the review if AMS can still be challenged after this race, or if the results they're going to get today will be sufficient to allow them to claim the Division 1 team championship. That's something I will keep everyone updated on as soon as we have the final results. But there's still 8 laps left in this race. 9 laps left in this race, sorry. So there's plenty of action to come. Make sure you stay in front of your PC, your TV, or your phone, or your tablet. Rodrigo has managed to pull away from Urki, not by much, but still it's enough for him to have a little space to breathe. And Cooper is in 5th place. Nientisto went in the pits, and he's now fighting with his brother. So we've had the Schumacher brothers in F1. We have the Regalado brothers in the Super Cup. And we have the Becquet just entered the pit, so that will end the battle. And we have the Champagne brothers in SFR Division 1, Nientisto and Becquet. So the pit stops should be, Gumball should be in the pits at the end of this lap or the next. Since drivers start with a full tank and do not need to refuel during the race, they have sufficient fuel to run the 26 laps. The car gets lighter and the tire wear is not as significant as the race goes on. So on lap 18, now 19, they should be at less than half a tank. Let's have a look. They're slightly above half a tank. So the car is much lighter than it was at the start. I need to get rid of this. Everyone's staying on the track. Rodrigo and Urki might try to cross the finish line on the mediums, but looking at this, the gap's 17.9. Gumball would still come out of the pits ahead of Rodrigo. So that one-stop strategy might not work, as we have Catch in the pits for Rockefeller Racing. Will most likely be putting a fresh set of soft tires. Bill is also in the pits for AMS. Nientisto has already done his second pit stop. Yes, he's on fresh softs. Doogie still could finish the race on the mediums. That's gonna be hard. During the previous race on the Circuit de Catalunya, Nientisto and Doogie were fighting at the end of the race as Nientisto had fresher tires than Doogie. So we'll see if that happens again. Doogie could still try to cross the finish line on these tires, so that's a possibility and for the Dodge driver. But Nientisto has the upper hand. And Doogie's drifting on his mediums, losing the rear but catching it, catching the slide. As we have Marsan in the pits, we'll keep an eye on him. There's a good chance he's gonna exit behind Rodrigo and Urki, assuming Rodrigo and Urki stay on the track and finish the race on their current set of tires. That's something we are not sure about yet, but the mediums have been holding on quite well. So yes, he's going to be about 6 seconds behind Urki. And Nientisto just managed to overtake Doogie. We'll see if we can have a look at this overtake maneuver. Yes, Nientisto right behind Doogie has a good run out of the corner, the previous corner. Coming towards the chicane, has the racing line, and Doogie doesn't try to hold him off. There was no point of force the issue. They're on different strategies and they're part of the same team, AMS. So that promotes Rodrigo in second place, 18.5 seconds behind Marsan, but could this work? Because Marsan is now 7 seconds behind Rodrigo and he was 10 seconds ahead of him, so I believe Gumball will exit right in front of Rodrigo. Maybe a second and a half gap after his pit stop. We'll see, he's gonna pit now. Just make sure you don't get a pit entry penalty, as that could totally change the results of this race. And we won't know until the review. So Gumball in the pits, whereas Rodrigo is exiting the final chicane, entering the final corner. Gumball still, the pit crew still waiting for Gumball. He's now in the pits. That's fine. Rodrigo might be able to jump Gumball actually. We'll see. I cannot find Gumball. Where is it? And he's gonna exit right in front of Rodrigo. Will Rodrigo be aggressive and try to get back ahead of him? Doesn't seem like it's gonna work. His tires are not as fresh as Gumball's. So only 0.7 seconds separate the top two. So that one-stop strategy could have been the winning strategy. And it could still be the winning strategy. We'll see how this race unfolds. This Gumball now had wrong one. Wait. Now I'm quite confused. I believe Gumball has made a fatal error. I believe he's running the softs for a third stint, which would mean that he totally forgot to use the mediums, which would mean that he will be disqualified at the end of this race. So if anyone knows Gumball, get in the party and tell him use the mediums. Because I believe he's been using soft, and softs. And if that's the case, that would mean Gumball will be disqualified from this race and will lose a victory that he would have probably be able to get with the final stint on the mediums. Well, that completely changes the picture of this race. So this means Rodrigo is probably gonna be the winner of this race. We'll see if Gumball realizes his mistake, if that's indeed a mistake, because I believe he hasn't run the medium so far. He's been on the softs for 10 laps, the softs again for 10 laps, and now he's on the softs again. So that could be a big mistake by the American driver. We will see what happens there. I will have to do the interview at the end of the race, and that will be quite interesting there. I already don't like to do interviews. That's going to be rough. We'll see. Let's try to focus on the action on track and not think too much. I'll have to go through the broadcast to double check. Yes, Marsan was on the same strategy as Gumball. He's on the medium, so Gumball should have gone on the mediums. So yes, it seems like Gumball will be disqualified at the end of this race. So that will basically exclude him from the running of he won't be a title contender anymore, as he will get 0 points instead of 34. And he had to finish 10th or higher to get to remain in the running for the Division 1 title. So that is a terrible mistake. If he could pit to get on the mediums until the end of the race, before the end of the race, he would still finish at least in 10th place and still be in the running, but so far, so it looks like it's not gonna happen. So Rodrigo is the effective leader right now. And Marsan is in third. Maybe I'm totally wrong, maybe he used the mediums, but I don't believe he did because I checked all the tires. So that's the battle for the lead right now. If that situation is indeed correct, it might be between Rodrigo and Marsan for the win. To quote Rodrigo, "I don't know what to say here, I am just speechless." Because this looks like it's gonna totally change the results. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, because that could be the battle for the win. And Urki might still be on the podium for BMW. So we'll follow this battle. We've kind of lost everything going on behind, because that's been quite dramatic. So Marsan challenging Rodrigo, and he's gonna take the lead. And he's now ahead of Rodrigo. Rodrigo going inside. When they don't touch, but that was very close. Honestly, I have no idea. I believe that, yes, I believe Gumball was on the softs the whole time. I don't know if someone can go back on the broadcast and check, because I've showed the tires a few times, but we'll see. So that would mean if Gumball indeed did not use the mediums, that would mean Marsan is leading ahead of Rodrigo and Urki. And I will go through the field. It's been quite a crazy situation. Cooper in 5th place for AMS. Niantisto up from quite a bad start on the mediums. He was almost virtually last, and he's now 6th ahead of Catch, 8 seconds ahead of the Rockefeller Racing driver. Gnarly in 8th place, Doogie in 9th, Bekwa in 10th place. For STR, could get a top 10 for his first official race as an STR driver. Arrowhead for the first race in Division 1 in 11th, Exotica in 12th for STR, and Bill in 13th, 3.6 seconds behind Exotica. And we still have Gumball leading, but we still don't know what's gonna happen. The thing is, I'll have to interview Gumball not knowing if he indeed forgot to use a medium, so that's not gonna be easy. Oh, okay, so I've been told don't trust spectate mode for tires. Okay, so maybe he's on the mediums, we'll see. Okay, so I have no idea what's going on. So your commentator is currently unable to confirm if Gumball used mediums or softs. I guess we'll have to ask him during the interview and we'll know the exact situation, because it looks like he's on the softs and he was on the softs and the softs, so I have no idea. That's confusing, and it's been so confusing that we forgot that we're on lap 25, a little over a lap left. So I am actually not sure what's going on. We'll keep an eye on it. And Marcin is in 2nd place, Rodrigo 3rd. Doesn't seem to be any battle on the track right now. Things have settled down, but just when I say it, we find a battle between Bekwa and Doogie for 9th place. Doogie, who's still on the mediums, trying to do a one-stop strategy if I'm not mistaken, and now has Bekwa right behind him. Bekwa with the fresher tires. Oh, I think there was a little... Oh, Gumball in the pits. I think he realized his mistake. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be quite crazy at the end. Where will he exit? I think he's gonna exit right ahead of Rodrigo. I have no idea. I cannot see all the gaps. I think Marcin will get the lead. Gumball on the mediums. He saw his mistake. Ah, thank God I didn't want to disqualify someone after such a great race. What's gonna happen now? It's gonna be a crazy lap. God. Let's see what Gumball can do. Yeah, he might have thrown away an easy win. Well, it wasn't easy. He still had to drive to get such a great gap over Marcin, but now he's on the mediums, but Marcin's mediums are still fresh. Only 6 laps. So I don't know if it's you, J-Mag, who sent him a message to realize that he was on the wrong tires. But if you did it, you did a great job talking to your driver. Whew. That was quite nerve-wracking for me, since I have I triple duties, but today it's only double duties. I'm an official and a broadcaster, usually a driver, but well, I'm kind of glad Gumball realized his mistake, because that would have been quite horrible. I'll have to ask him about about this in the interview. I was about to have a heart attack while commentating the race. So Gumball in 2nd place, but he's gonna lose a victory that he should have won. Just might have been a mistake picking the tires in the pits, but it took so long for him to realize his mistake. Maybe try to push and create a big enough gap, but realize it wouldn't happen. So this means AMS Marcin 14 will get his first victory of the season. pending review of the final results. First place ahead of Gumball in the other Mercedes-Benz, so Gumball down in second place. Rodrigo in third place, celebrating. Nice race, Rodrigo, no practice. Jumped in at the last second. Urki in fourth place in the BMW, just off the podium. And with the 6.8 second gap with Rodrigo, it's unlikely that he will move up in third place. AMS Cooper 2K started second, finishes fifth in the Supra. Niantisto only 3.2 seconds behind Cooper. A great comeback from after quite a bad start there. Catch 7th place in the Rockefeller Racing Aston Martin, so that's a great points finish for Rockefeller Racing. They will probably jump ahead of STR. Gnarly in 8th place in the Aston. Bekwa, first race for STR, 9th place, that's a great result. He's a worthy D1 driver. AMS Doogie in 10th place in the Viper. Arrowhead in 11th. Felt like he didn't belong in D1, but he had a great race and finishes just off the top 10. Exotica in the fast and fabulous Jaguar, black, pink and white for STR in 12th place. And Bill, who's had a rough race, finishes in last 13th, as we had J-Mag with the DNF at the end of the race, at the start of the race, lap 2 or 3. So here are your results, pending review by the SFR GT officials. That an exhausting broadcast. Whew. I wasn't expecting to have such drama tonight. Ay ay ay. Let's save this replay. Let's screenshot these results because I don't want to forget everything. Then I'm gonna send invites to everyone. Okay, interviews. Is there anyone you want to interview? We'll see. Gumball, Rodrigo, Marsan, the winner. And let's have Catch. I'm gonna invite them. Whew. Hopefully they'll have shared their audio this time. Marsan. I need to find everyone. Gumball. Catch. Where is Rodrigo? Rodrigo. So we'll wait for the drivers to get in the party. One is already in. We'll go through the podium finishers and then we'll finish with Catch. I think we have everyone but Catch. I don't know if Catch will be able to be in the party for the interview. So congratulations, Pedro Marsan, for your victory in this race. That was quite eventful. You had to really fight with Rodrigo early on, and you had to overtake him. For at one time, we weren't sure exactly what was going on with Gumball with the strategy, but you managed to make the most of it and get your first victory in the SFR GT Challenge, so congratulations. How was it?
Thank you.
I'm kind of out of breath, so I'm not sure I'm going to do good interviews, but let's go.
No problem, but thank you, yeah. I mean, I was with a strategy already. I was thinking like doing 2 stops. So I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it's obviously that this is a lucky win, but I mean, it's racing, you know, it's not over until it's over. So
yes.
Well.
Yeah, well, when you watch the broadcast, you'll hear me talk nonstop, and I'm out of breath. That was quite exciting. You put on a great show. How was the? We've always known the Mercedes-Benz has the great tire wear before the physics update. How was it after the update? Is it you feel like wear is higher or lower, or stayed pretty much the same? Because I think you ran
Well,
10 laps on the softs on both stints.
yeah, I feel like the wear isn't that bad. It's still a very good car, definitely, no doubt about it. But yeah, definitely, I don't know if the other, if Gumball can, say it too, but I feel like it's way more like understeering, definitely, but it's not the only one. Apparently, the update,
Hmm.
have affect everything, every car, that way. But yeah, I mean, I've been using the AMG long enough, so definitely I noticed how it changed a
Yeah.
lot. But in terms of tire wear, I didn't feel like it was very bad. It's still a very good car, definitely a way over the average car.
Well, that was a great race, and I'm sure you've made everyone in Puerto Rico proud of your first win in the league. I know your friend Kem is super excited, very proud of you. So congratulations, and
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I say a good race, Gumba, Rodrigo, and everybody.
yes, that was quite exciting to watch and to commentate. So now, Gumball, you scared the crap out of me. I was sure you were about to forget to use the mediums, and that that leads to a driver getting excluded from the final result. So I was kind of scared that you would not pit, but you did. So you might have lost the win by not picking the mediums for the third stint, but at least you saved the second place and you kept yourself in the running for the Division One Drivers' Championship. So that's great. When did you realize you forgot to use the mediums?
Yeah, just a dumb mistake on my end. Just a bit of an airheaded moment. No,
Okay.
I came into the pits and I was like, okay, I'll put on mediums. I got a good clean gap, and I hit the button and I was just out of
Oh,
habit, like doing FIA races recently.
oh,
Like you just go straight to the tire. So it's like it popped up and I was like,
yeah,
ding, and then I didn't think anything of it. I pulled out of the pits and I was like, wait a second, I hit the wrong one. And so I was like, shoot, I'm like, I've got to use mediums. So I was
So
like,
you,
well, I'm on the softs. I might as well push as hard as I
yeah,
can to try and increase that gap. And
yeah,
I got really close to making it still work. But
yeah.
yeah,
That
good on
was
Marzan,
close.
you know, for
That that
making that
was
work.
that
It was crazy.
that was quite stressful for me since I was like, well, we really hope that he knows that he has to use the mediums because I don't want to disqualify a driver who's done such a great race. So I will admit that I was texting J Mag telling him, send the message to Gumball. He has to use the mediums. I hope he didn't forget about it. And then he said no, he just admitted his mistake. And well, that was great to see you pull in the pits. At the same time, it's sad that you've lost the win due to I guess, clicking a little too fast. But
I know, just get a
I
little
know it
ahead of
happens.
myself.
Yeah, well, I've done the same thing on Brands Hatch. I clicked on the wrong thing with my joystick, and I ended up staying on Warren Medium. So I know how it feels. It's quite painful when you realize what just happened while you're having such a great race. So I want to congratulate you for keeping your composure, not freaking out, and still being able to push and create a big enough gap to maintain second place despite this error. We'll see you in
You're ahead of me. But yeah, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, we'll see you in Le Mans. Hopefully this won't happen again because the pit lane is super long there.
I'll try to remember. I will try to
Oh,
remember.
yeah, that's great.
Every now and then you got to make those mistakes. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, good race by Marzan and Rodrigo as well. They were fighting, but they had the same pace. I was just able to inch further and further. But yeah, not over until it's over. So yeah, good on
Yes.
Marzan for that, and I will definitely remember next time.
Well, that's good. So we'll move on to Rodrigo. Podium finish, no practice. Didn't even know you were gonna race the Lexus tonight until a few hours before the race. That was
1 hour.
great. Huh?
1 hour before, yeah.
1 hour before. You
Yeah.
were quite fast in qualifying. Started, I believe, in fourth position. Yes. And you had a strong race. Nice battle with Marsan for most of the
Thank you.
race. How did the Lexus feel? You've been used to driving the Viper. I know the Viper was kind of badly affected by the update. How was the Lexus? How did it feel?
Uh, Stable.
Stable. That's
That's
great.
pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know what else to comment, really.
Yeah, it seemed like the tire wear was relatively better in the Lexus than the Mercedes based on what we saw on the stream.
Really?
Uh, yes, yes. You don't believe me?
That's in,
Okay,
that's
okay. Well,
interesting.
you'll have to look at the replay then.
Yes, yes.
But that means you brought home points, 24 points for Turismo Racing, and that should
And
be
that
it.
means
That means Turismo should still be eligible, still should be in the running for the team championship. So you might have saved your team there. You did a great job.
beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful, yes. And I will move on to Catch. I don't know if you figured out how to share your audio.
I think I did.
You think you did? Is everyone hearing him on the stream?
Yeah, hopefully I got
Seems
it
like
correctly.
everything's fine. Good. So Catch, you had a strong race there. Finished in, let me check. I almost forgot the results. You finished in 7th place, so that's 7 and 8 for Rockefeller Racing. That means, based on what we saw today before we know the actual final results, that Rockefeller Racing is now up in 4th place in the team championship ahead of Stronger Together Racing, STR. So this
Yeah, sorry
STR
about
between
that.
our battle is whoa, that's fine. That's part of the game. That's great. And we saw you were using a special livery. Usually you're in the black and green machine. Now you had some pink accent on it. So I'll let you talk a
Yeah,
little about it.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I have to give credit to our team captain Vic who made the livery. We actually had some of the pink settings a while ago, but we support our causes, chronic pain, anxiety and depression, and of course cancer. And we had the hashtags for my dog on there. He's not doing so well. He has cancer, brain tumor. So yeah, it's been a bit of a rough few months for me and the family. So I just wanted to try and represent him and everybody out there who suffers from cancer. So it's just a tribute. I might decide to run it the rest of the season, but I really wanted to run at this race and fairly happy with how things turned out. The Aston is favorable for a few tracks here and there, but we kind of struggled in it all year. So pretty good finish for us. That wasn't too bad.
Well, that was a strong result for the team. 7th and 8th, so that's a good points result. And I guess that's the end of the interviews. Unless you have some final words to say, Catch, as we enter the final 2 rounds of the season and we get close to crowning champions in both divisions.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun. I'm excited to watch D2 take place. We got some guys in there that are battling and fast guys over there as well. Really, congratulations to Marzan and Gumball and Rodrigo and everybody else that raced. And everybody at SFR, the whole family, thank you for broadcasting. Thanks everybody for being a part of it. And I hope to see you next season. And let's finish on a strong note, guys.
Yeah, well, so on these nice words from one of your SFR GT officials, I will say thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Josh should be here to broadcast Division 2 on Round 8 for Division 2 on Nerf GP. And for Division 1, we'll be here in 2 weeks at Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans, for Round 9, Division 1. So thanks for watching, and have a great night.